listen to this.
Greetings to all. Today, let us enrich the wisdom within the mind, the formless, empty, and pure life element that dwells within us. May we come to directly realize our own mind. Though we each have a mind, we do not truly know it. We dwell in this vessel, this robotic body, and yet we mistakenly cling to the belief that this vessel belongs to us. In truth, it does not last long. It is a container with an expiration date. When this body breaks apart, the mind, or we, will seek out a new vessel. It may take the form of an aquatic creature, a land animal, a bird, or even a being beneath the earth. Most often, it becomes an animal. The chance to be born as a human is exceedingly rare, because the number of animal vessels is infinite. They are so numerous, endlessly waiting for us to inhabit. The percentage of minds that take human form is minuscule, only 0.001%. If we compare it to grains of soil across the entire earth, those grains represent minds born into animal vessels, while the few grains held between two fingers represent those rare minds that attain human birth. From the largest to the smallest creatures, throughout the air and across space, living beings abound. Most of us are reborn into these animal vessels, and once this happens, we become deluded, mistaking ourselves to be that animal, clinging to that form as if it were truly ours. We devour one another, driven by anger, hatred, and revenge. One eats the other and feels resentment. The other retaliates and carries hatred in return. A web of karmic entanglement forms, threads of energy linking us in endless cycles of destruction. And now, by great fortune, we have attained human birth. Yet even now, we still do not understand the mind. No one in this world has taught us about it. Our parents never spoke of it. When we went to school, no teacher ever told us that we are the mind, that this body is not us, that this voice we hear is not truly ours. Observe mental images, emotions, perceptions. None of these are who we are. Look inward carefully. We all want happiness. But do you see? Even happiness is not truly ours. Neither is suffering. Whatever emotion arises, it exists on its own. It comes and goes. It thinks on its own. It imagines on its own. It feels on its own. It dissolves on its own. And it perceives all on its own. Right now, the sound is being heard on its own. Can you see this? There is no us in any of it. Where is this self we cling to? When we see the truth that nothing at all belongs to us, a great lightness arises. The sense of me begins to dissolve completely. The illusion of self crumbles. What remains is the truth that our real nature is the mind, the life element, utterly formless and crystal pure. If only someone had taught us this every day, by now we would have awakened to the mind. We would no longer suffer over anything, because we would see clearly that nothing ever truly belonged to us. The reason we experience anger, hatred, vengeance, and constant struggle with one another is because we desire what we think is ours. But in truth, nothing truly belongs to us. So let us search together. What is it really that belongs to us? Let me offer a simple analogy. Suppose we look at a mango. The outer skin of that mango, when seen from the outside, may seem to represent us. Let's imagine that we are mangoes. We say, this mango is me. The smooth skin, the beautiful outer layer. This is what we desire for ourselves. We want beautiful bodies, attractive appearances. So we identify with this outer skin. We declare, this skin, this form is me. But then a wise one comes and tells us, you are not the skin of the mango. This is just the surface, and we are confused. How could this not be us? We believe with certainty This skin is completely who we are. But the wise one suggests, peel the skin away and see, you are inside. How could we peel it? If we peel it off, then nothing would be left, so we argue. Yet we try. We peel off the skin and look within. We begin to turn inward. We leave the skin behind. Just like letting go of the body, we begin to recognize something deeper. And then we see, we are the flesh of the mango. This inner part is beautiful. We say, this is who I truly am. We are not the skin. We now know this. This is like us. Once we discard the identification with the body, we begin to believe that what remains, thoughts, emotions, mental activities, must be who we really are. Close your eyes and observe. The body disappears, but you still hear a voice. You think, you imagine, you feel happiness and sorrow. You perceive, you remember, and so you believe. These inner activities are you. Just like we believe that the mango flesh is truly us. But the wise one comes again and says, even this flesh is not you. We're startled. How can it not be? If we peel away this flesh, what could possibly remain? Nothing would be left. Because we believe that this flesh is the totality of our being. All of it is flesh. This is who we are. We insist. Because we are afraid to abandon the sense of self, we believe the inner substance is truly us. At first we thought the outer skin was us. Once we peeled it off, we saw that it wasn't. Then we thought the flesh must be the true self. We believed that this second layer is our real identity. In another view, you could say there are 3 layers. The outermost layer, let's call it the third layer, is not us, so we discard it. Then we find the second layer inside and think, this must be me. We identify with it, just as we identify with the voice, the thoughts, the feelings, and the awareness arising inside. But the wise one again tells us, even these are not you. So now, peel away the flesh of the mango completely and see what remains. Once we truly let go of the mango flesh and turned inward to know what lies within, we came to see the truth. We are not the skin, we are not the flesh. What we truly are is this seed. It is the life element. When we understand this, we are this life element, this seed, then we begin to see this is our true self. If planted, it would give rise to life. This is the life essence, the source of life itself. From this seed, a great tree can grow, bearing flowers, fruits, leaves, and branches. It benefits the world. All the qualities of the great tree, the food it gives, the beauty it offers, are already contained within this seed. This seed is the origin. It is the life element, the root source. The skin cannot give rise to anything. The flesh alone cannot give rise to anything. Only the seed contains the true power to generate. We are this seed of life. At first we thought we were the skin, then we let it go and believed we were the flesh. Once we let go of the flesh, we discovered we are the seed. In the end, we realize we have always been the seed of life. Likewise, at first we believed this body was us, but when the body dies, we do not die with it. The body can be burned. It has nothing to do with who we truly are. We are the mind, the spirit. But even within that, there is a core, the pure mind itself, surrounded by layers of mental fabrication, such as this voice we dwell in, the mental images we imagine, the emotions of happiness, sadness, or neutrality. All of these are simply wrappers around us. Even perception itself, the act of hearing, remembering, recognizing, all of this is merely activity. These are activities of the mind, but we mistake them to be the self. Let go of them. Observe deeply and see. These things are not us. Watch inwardly. They think by themselves, imagine by themselves, feel by themselves, perceive by themselves, even understand by themselves, see clearly that they operate on their own. Once you see this, where then is the self? And you will meet the true essence of who you are. These things, the voice, the thoughts, the feelings, are merely natural phenomena. They are not us. Once we turn inward and let go of them, these functions that operate on their own, there is a release from the illusion of self. The sense of being a person collapses completely. Then we realize we are the mind, we are the pure life element, formless and radiant. When we see this truth, that we are this element, then if this body were to die, we would not be reborn. Because we have awakened, we now know clearly. In the past, we entered countless vessels only because we did not know who we were. We relied on tools of fabrication to find out, what am I? But once we use those tools, those bodies, those thoughts, those emotions, those perceptions, we became lost in them. We got lost in the mango skin, lost in the mango flesh. We forgot we were the seed. We have become lost in countless appearances. We have taken on form after form, changing endlessly, infinitely. We have been everything there is to be. Until now, in this very moment, we have come to realize we are the seed. We are fortunate to have been born human and to have encountered this truth. That is why I often say, if only we had parents, teachers, or elders who taught us about the mind, we would have already been free from suffering. We would not return to be born again. This would be our final life. There would be no more clinging, no more sorrow, because we would see that nothing is truly ours. We would look upon those still suffering and feel compassion, wondering, why suffer at all when nothing truly exists? It is like a dream. We see others suffering greatly within the dream world, and we try to tell them, why suffer? There is nothing real here, don't you see? Nothing belongs to us. None of it has any real existence. It's all a dream. But people argue, how can it be a dream? This is real. I feel real pain. I truly suffer. I am rich. I am poor. I am good. I am bad. It's all real. But when we wake up, we realize nothing had any true self. Just wake up, that's all. But those who remain inside the dream cannot understand. They say, what do you mean wake up? I'm already awake. And we try to explain. It's not this kind of waking. In this dream, everything appears real. Don't you see? Even this body doesn't truly die. It dies only in appearance. The pain is false pain. The voice speaking now is an illusion. The thinking too is false. All emotions are counterfeit. Even the perception happening now is not real. Try letting go of these things. See clearly that they function on their own. Observe carefully. Wake up from this dream, and you will realize that your true self is not here. Some of us may not believe this. We may resist and argue, but others may begin to listen and consider, wait, these things really function on their own. They start to understand, this body ages, hurts, and dies by itself. The thoughts that arise, do they think themselves? Why do they arise on their own? The words form by themselves. The emotions arise, and then they vanish. Happiness comes and goes on its own. Sorrow too arises and disappears. Even this awareness arises and fades by itself. Then we ask, where is the self in all this? And this sparks a moment of awakening. The identity we once clung to, believing we were truly human in this dreamlike world, falls apart. Once we are jolted awake, we realize, oh, was all of this just a dream? We had suffered, struggled, thinking it was all real, believing in families, relationships, and the entire story. But once we wake, we understand it was all a dream. And then we wonder, how can we tell those who are still dreaming? How can we tell them they are dreaming? They believe it's all real. But the absolute truth is this: true reality is awakening. I have come to proclaim this truth. The knowledge of the mind is the one essential subject that every one of us must learn, because we already possess it, yet we do not know ourselves at all. We do not recognize our own true nature. Instead, we search for things to cling to. But do you know, everything we cling to is temporary. It arises only to fall apart. This body appears only to decay. Even this world arises only to dissolve. It cannot last. All universes, no matter how vast, are born only to disintegrate. Everything arises for the sake of breaking apart. But there is one nature that never arises and never breaks down. That is the original element. It is empty, transparent, and pure. It is not anything. It does not become anything. We are of the same essence as this crystal clear element of the universe, an element that contains absolutely nothing. If we erase all things, truly erase everything, we will understand. Erase every universe completely. Erase darkness and light as well. No stars, no sun, no black holes, not even dust remains. Erase it all. What remains is the most pristine, radiant emptiness. It merges seamlessly with all things. This is the element called the original element, the immortal element, untouched by any fabrication. Now I will guide you inward, toward the direct realization of your own pure element. I will try to point clearly so you can see for yourselves. All forms of nature, every material element, where do they come from? If we zoom into any material element, even this body we call ours, and zoom deeper and deeper, we will find tiny particles, small units of matter, atomic structures bound tightly together. These form stones. Even this body is composed of these tiny atomic units joining to form cells. Those cells connect and multiply to create form. They form bones, blood cells, vessel walls, tissue, skin, tendons, flesh, brain, and hair. If we break these down to their smallest parts, we find atoms, and we have become lost in the shapes formed by these atomic elements. Now, if we zoom into those atoms even further, where is the self? Where are we within this body? Zooming into the atom reveals even smaller systems, down to the quantum realm, down to the quarks, the smallest known components. This is called the realm of assigned value, the quantum system. Quarks are among the smallest, and within them we find subatomic particles, electrons, protons, and neutrons spinning around. If we zoom deeper still into those particles themselves, we encounter emptiness, yet also a subtle energy field rotating around it. There is a certain field of energy spinning around this particle. It wraps around it, it protects it, it is in constant motion. What should we call this particle? Let's call it an energy field. This field of energy is constantly revolving around a clear empty space, the tiniest space there is. Surrounding this space is a field of active energy, endlessly in motion. This is the energy field that circles around the core of emptiness, the elemental core. That smallest, most fundamental origin is pure emptiness, surrounded by energy that spins around it. When we go deep enough, down to the level of quarks, to the most refined states, the quantum and quark levels, if we study carefully going deeper and deeper, we begin to see where is the self, where is anything that can be called me. If we insist that the body is the self, then when we break it down, it becomes atoms. Are the atoms me? If we go even deeper into those atoms and find empty space with moving energy around it, then what is left? That clear empty space, that is what we are. We will encounter this same truth everywhere. Every form, every material substance, everything arises from emptiness, with an energy field revolving around it. Then we come to understand, what is it that allows all things to move, to form, to live? It is this empty base that supports all energy movement. Energy orbits this space. It binds together, particle by particle, forming atomic structures. These groups grow larger and larger, becoming matter, then taking on various shapes, becoming stones, trees, the human body, animal bodies, physical materials, diamonds, gemstones, silver, water. Now take water. If we break water down, what remains? Just gas. And if we break gas down, what do we find? Pure clarity, radiant emptiness, surrounded by a rotating energy field. Look into anything deeply, and we'll find this. There is no self anywhere. All things lack any true identity. They are simply assemblies of energy fields, bonding, clustering, forming shapes. And we become lost in those shapes. We cling to them as though they are me. The mind does just that. And now I am beginning to guide you back home. We suffer because we mistake these forms for ourselves. We suffer because we believe painful emotions are our emotions. But I ask you, why do we cling to suffering as if it is our own? Why must we rely on these things? This is a simple question, one that requires no thinking, no intellectual knowledge at all. Let me begin with a question. How did we come to dwell in this vessel? We simply say, I don't know. Then why couldn't we choose the kind of vessel we wanted? Why this particular one? Whether we were born male or female, whether this body is complete or impaired, whatever skin tone or facial features we have, why must it be this body, in this family, in this life? Where did we come from? These are simple questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? Why did we come to dwell in this body? There must be a reason. The fact that we inhabit this vessel means we ourselves must be formless. Isn't that simple to see? Can you begin to understand? I speak of truth, not belief. The truth is, this body will certainly die. It cannot last long. Isn't that so? Then where will we go? Don't think that we dissolve along with the body. We have never dissolved. Imagine deep sleep. In deep sleep, where do we go? We're not dead. We are still alive as always. But where have we gone? At that time, we had no form. Even the memory of being human disappears. The sense of being male or female vanishes. The sense of having parents is gone. In deep sleep, we are no longer human, but life remains. Perhaps the body is snoring, tossing and turning. But clearly, in that deep state, there is no awareness of anything. Yet life continues uninterrupted. And that life, does it have a form? Ask yourself, can we understand this clearly, that life has no form, and that life is mind? Remember this well, we are mind, we are the life element. It has no form, it is spacious, it is clear, it is profoundly pure. It is the purest essence, the origin of all things. This life element within us remains just the same. We are the formless life element. In deep sleep, where does the identity of male or female go? If you say you are a man, where is that when you are in deep sleep? If you say you are a woman, where is that in deep sleep? Where have you gone? All sense of me disappears. What truly remains is life itself, a life that has no form. In deep sleep, we are the life element, free from all mental formations. There are no thoughts, no language arises within that space, and yet life is still there, present as always. Suppose you are sleeping soundly, and when the time is right, you hear the sound of a clock, or perhaps a rooster. Suddenly, you jolt awake, your body begins to stir. In that very instant, there are no words, but there is a subtle awareness, the impulse to twist, to shift. In that moment, there is meaning, without language, indicating a sense of self. Can you observe what happens when we wake up from deep sleep? What is that first moment of awareness like? There is an initial sense, a recognition of something. In that moment, we begin to feel the presence of a body. The memory of having a body starts to return. Can you understand this? Then contact with sensations begins. There is a feeling, cold or warm. The body starts to shift or roll. While under the blanket, there's now a felt experience followed by the interpretation. I am human, I am cold, or I am warm. Then we begin to move, seeking comfort. A sense of comfort arises. A feeling of warmth appears. The story of being alive begins again. The story of being a body, of being cold, of curling up and finding warmth. Comfort arises, and along with that comfort, there is meaning. The fabrication has begun. Can you see how this mental fabrication arises? This is how we begin to recognize the mind. This is how we begin to see the life element clearly. I've already said, the skin is not who we are. The flesh of the mango is not who we are. We are the seed at the very center, the life element. We must come to direct knowledge of the mind. We must turn against the current and awaken. Our mind must awaken. Whenever the mind begins to awaken, a sense of lightness and clarity gradually increases. It becomes lighter, clearer, again and again. We begin to see, this is not the body. Imagine if we could erase the body. How spacious and light would it feel? When we understand that this is not our body, the instinct to constantly struggle for its survival falls away. Imagine suddenly realizing that you are inside a robot. You don't know how you got there, but all along you thought the robot was you. Then one day you begin to understand, wait, I'm just inside this machine, this isn't me. And suddenly you no longer suffer over the body. Why suffer over something that isn't truly yours? There is a deep lightness. Just like when you understand the skin is not you, you no longer care about the skin. When you see that even the flesh is not you, you let go of that too. A great weight is released, a burden is dropped, and you awaken to the truth. You are the seed within, the essence of life. When we come to dwell inside this robotic vessel, we fall under the illusion that it is me. But then one day we begin to hear the teachings. We listen to recordings from 𝙤𝙤 channel, and we begin to doubt, is this really me? We begin to sense, this body must grow old, fall ill, and eventually die. And yes, it must. This body is merely a vessel we dwell in. So why do we suffer over it? In the end, it will die regardless. This body cannot last long. Then why are we so preoccupied with it? Some people go to great lengths to decorate the body, makeup, surgeries, reshaping the face and body. But what for? In the end, it still grows old, still suffers, still dies. Changing the face doesn't change that. The body will not last. Can you see? This robotic shell will eventually rust, decay, and fall apart. It cannot last long. This robot body, this vessel, is impermanent. If we truly understand that this is not our body, a deep lightness arises. The heaviness and suffering we carry each day come from dwelling inside this vessel and clinging to fabrications. We've become attached. I want to say this clearly. We cling to the body, 25%. We cling to emotions, 25%. We cling to thoughts, 25%. And we cling to the act of knowing, another 25%. These four aspects make up 100% of what we identify with. Right now, we are attached to the act of knowing. We are hearing a sound, perceiving, and believing that we are the ones knowing. But is it not knowing by itself? This is just 25%. If I speak in levels, 25%, 50%, 75%, and finally 100%, we must keep listening, keep contemplating, until the mind begins to accept. None of this is truly me. The skin is not us. The flesh is not us. We are the seed within. When realization reaches 100%, it means wisdom is complete. meaning we clearly see that the body is not the self. The body is merely an object of awareness. It is the outer shell, something external that is known. When we see this clearly, we attain 25% of awakening. This insight must be total. The mind must truly accept it. If we deeply see that this body is not our body, tears may fall. Ask yourself, has the body ever claimed to be ours? Look at your legs. Who says they are yours? Your arms. Do they say, I am your arm? The blood, the bones, the liver, do they say they belong to you? Does the lung say, I am yours? Does the hair, the brain, the stomach speak and claim ownership? Do these things speak number? It is only this voice that speaks. So where is the self? From the start of this teaching until now, only this voice has spoken, hasn't it? Who can see this? This voice has created every story. We are living in a constructed world, built entirely by this voice, by the conventions of language. It creates everything. If we understand this, there is an immediate lightness. Oh, so everything arises from this voice, and it assigns meaning to all things. Yes, only this voice. We believe this is sound, don't we? We say, I am speaking, or I am listening. This is the ordinary condition of beings still caught in delusion. But if we observe closely, this isn't just sound. Look deeply within. It is merely something that appears. It is just a phenomenon that makes contact with the mind. The mind reacts by knowing. If we can see this clearly, we begin to loosen our grip on the idea of self. First, recognize this voice. It gives meaning to everything. That's a house. But the house itself never says that. When you look up at the sky, it never says it's Monday or Tuesday. The sky doesn't call itself the sky. The clouds never call themselves clouds. Observe the world carefully. Nothing speaks. Do you see? Only this voice makes these declarations. This is a tree. But look again. Does the tree say what kind of tree it is? No. It's this voice that tells us. Even now in this communication, it's just this voice passing back and forth. But in truth, all things are simply known objects. They are appearances in awareness. The mind, in its pure state, is a natural element. It simply knows, constantly, silently, purely. We rely on this process of knowing as the base through which we perceive everything. Now look closely. Even the words father and mother arise from this voice. Even children, relatives, and family, these are all created by this voice. House, car, possessions, all are named by this voice. Nothing else speaks. Everything is simply something known, an image that appears to be known. Can you see that everything is only an image? An image that appears to awareness. Sound makes contact and is known. Scent makes contact and is known. Taste, too, makes contact and is known. Even sensations like cold and heat make contact and are known. Everything is only an object to be known. Who can truly see that none of these things have a name? They are merely appearances, something arising to be known. And this voice labels them. That's a house. This is a car. This is the body. These are my arms and legs. The voice speaks. If we can see that this body is just a thought, tears may fall. That's the first 25% of understanding. We start to see. This is not who we are. True knowing arises. The voice creates all the stories. We live by this voice. What does that mean? It means we are actually the life element without form. This life element is always present. Even in deep sleep, life continues. In deep sleep, all tools of fabrication are cut off. The body is disconnected. Thought, imagination, emotion, perception, all are absent. Every fabrication disappears, but life remains exactly as it was. That is the real us, that pure, undistorted state, free from any mental fabrication. That is the true self. There, no suffering exists, but still, wisdom has not yet arisen. Don't think that sleep leads to liberation from rebirth. Birth will still happen. When the body dies, the mind simply seeks another form. The cycle repeats endlessly until the mind, the life element, develops the wisdom to see that it is a formless, crystal clear essence. Until we awaken, until this mind, this life element, realizes clearly that we are this very purity, a knowing without language, a silent and direct knowing that fills the whole heart with truth. That is when we realize we are the pure element. This element merges seamlessly with all things. This is what we will encounter when we turn back and begin to know the mind. What we truly need is wisdom. Listen to my recordings again and again. The more you listen, the more understanding deepens. And when understanding deepens, the grip loosens. The mind becomes lighter, more spacious. Eventually it breaks free, completely light and unburdened. You will live this final life without suffering. Let me continue. Once we've seen 25%, that everything is just thought, we then continue to observe thought. Watch thought steadily. You will begin to notice them more and more often. Attention will naturally rest on the voice inside, what it says, what meaning it gives, what it declares. Awareness will stay with this inner voice alone. Whether joy arises, it no longer matters. Whether sorrow arises, it no longer matters. Joy will come and go. Sorrow will come and go. Neutral feelings will come and go. Emotions of satisfaction, dissatisfaction will appear and then dissolve. You'll see that the mind no longer cares about emotion. It has transcended emotional fixation. It only observes the voice and nothing else. Mental images work the same way. The images that arise in the mind of this and that are simply mental pictures, but the mind no longer reacts to them. It remains fixed on the inner voice. When we can clearly see that emotions or mental images are not who we are, that they are merely neutral phenomena that appear and dissolve on their own, without needing our involvement, we begin to understand deeply. These things perform their functions naturally. They are not us. And once we truly know this, a great lightness arises. This is 50%. Wisdom has now deepened to 50%. As we continue observing, we begin to recognize that the inner voice is constantly thinking, giving value, giving meaning. Now I am happy, or now I am sad. This voice says it all. It assigns meaning to everything imagined. Sometimes it says, oh, if I go to the beach, I'll be so happy, barbecuing by the sea, enjoying life. The voice says this, and then mental images follow. We begin to see that this voice creates every story. Eventually, the mind becomes familiar with this process, so much so that it begins to awaken on its own. It becomes accustomed to inner awareness, seeing thought arise constantly. That voice inside is speaking all the time. Now it becomes self-aware constantly. While walking, it sees thought. While sitting, it sees thought. From waking until sleeping, thought is seen in every moment, without needing to try. It becomes automatic. A profound understanding arises, an understanding of the entire process of fabrication. We see how it deceives us, how it causes us to be swept away by assigning meaning to everything, through this voice, through these thoughts. But we are not fully free yet. We may feel it's not completely finished. Yet we feel that we already understand so much. Who feels this way? Who feels, I understand everything now. I see thoughts constantly. At this stage, wisdom has reached 75%. Even in sleep, we see thought continuing. Thought is present all the time. It's strange, light, spacious. The more subtle the thought we can see, the deeper the calm, the more stillness, and this calm becomes continuous. We begin to feel profound understanding. Keep going, keep listening to my recordings. Now you begin to see the subtlest movements of thought. You see thought at every moment, crisp, precise. You see every ripple of the mind. It's almost like having a nervous condition, but it's not. It's the awakened mind. It sees everything constantly. This is 75% wisdom. You don't have to interfere with it. It will happen naturally. It will know on its own. I am only sharing what happens. This will arise on its own from now on. So keep listening to my recordings. Keep deepening your understanding. Then ask yourself, who is the one that knows right now? Let me review this once more. It unfolds like this. At first, I guide you to see that the outer skin is not who we are. The body is not us. That's the third layer. Then we move inward to see the second layer. The flesh of the mango is also not us. Finally, we reach the first layer, the innermost one, the true mind, the seed of the mango. Do you understand? Likewise, the body arises because we assign meaning to it. Let's examine the second layer, emotions. They are not our emotions. They are just natural phenomena that arise and dissolve on their own. This understanding will begin to emerge. You'll then begin to see mental images arising and fading on their own. Next comes the recognition of thought. The mind thinks constantly. It does so on its own. It's not us. At this stage, it becomes clear. Thoughts are not the self. They arise and operate independently. When this is seen, you'll notice the mind spinning all the time. But even then, full understanding hasn't yet occurred. The insight deepens gradually. Suddenly, there is a sense of lightness, spaciousness, a strange feeling. Why does it feel so light, so free? You begin to see thoughts constantly. You see the mental activity clearly. Then suddenly, as you walk, you glance at the sky and you realize everything is simply known. As you walk, a sound arises. You hear it instantly and recognize it's heard on its own. As you continue walking, a scent hits you, and again you realize it knows the scent on its own. Or perhaps while sitting and eating dessert, the sweet taste touches your tongue. You know the flavor on its own. Or you suddenly feel heat or coolness. And again the body knows it on its own. These moments bring spontaneous insight. Wait, does it know by itself? And then, boom, it explodes. The sense of being a human being shatters completely from the heart. Everything you once believed about being a person, being born on this earth, being someone's child, having a certain age, a certain name, all of it dissolves in a flash. It's as though the entire universe explodes into nothingness. What remains is the life element, formless, crystal clear, supremely pure. When that happens, a new energy may arise. For some, extraordinary phenomena appear. Some may experience spiritual power or miracles. But whatever arises, do not cling to it. Don't identify with any of it. Understand this. It is just a passing phenomenon. Even the most astonishing states, do not hold on to them. They are not you. When that inner explosion of realization happens, when everything collapses, you will know with absolute clarity, there is no self. Nothing remains that can be called me. And then, tears may pour out uncontrollably. Some people cry for 3 days, even 7 days, unable to stop. There is nothing left that feels like me. Life becomes light, open, free. There is no longer any sense of being human. At first, this experience is extraordinary, like we've stepped out of the world. It feels as though we are no longer human, but a pure, transparent emptiness that has merged with the entire universe. There is a knowing of all things, a vast clarity, but eventually, things return to a more ordinary state. It feels as though we are human again. Yet it is not the same as before. What's different is this: now there is understanding. There is no longer any confusion. We know with certainty that our true nature is the mind, the life element, pure, formless, crystal clear. This voice that speaks is not us. This body is not us. The images we imagine, those are not us. Emotions are not us. Memory, perception, none of these are who we are. They all function by themselves. And because of that, life becomes light, open, and effortless. We live in the world without being burdened by anything. Emotions still arise just like before, but now we don't cling to them. When joy arises, we let it be. So be it. When sadness comes, we let it be. It's not ours. If there's dissatisfaction, we let it be. It's not us. Emotions may arise: sorrow, delight, bliss, grief, loneliness, heartbreak, deep pain, whatever the type of suffering, it is all seen for what it is, just something arising on its own, not the self. There is awareness of everything, but no attachment to anything. This is the nature of awakened knowing. This is the path of realizing the mind. We must learn this subject, the direct knowledge of the mind. And when this realization becomes complete, a quiet miracle fills the heart. Tears flow, not from pain, but from wonder. We now know we do not suffer anymore. In that transparent emptiness, there is no language, no voice, no image, no emotion, no perception, no form. It merges with everything, and nothing says, "This is me." Yet we know this is who we truly are. We know it deeply. We are this pure element, and there are no mental constructs left, no sense of being good, or being special, or being anything at all. None of that remains. There is only silent knowing. Tears fall gently. We feel it. We know there is no more suffering. This is the nature of our mind. And once this full realization has arisen, we remain in this world without anger, without hatred, without vengeance. Peace arises naturally. If all beings were to realize this truth, true peace would emerge. Peace within and peace in the world. Whoever has realized this truth, share my recordings with everyone on this earth. Let them awaken in their own mind, just as we have. The knowledge of realizing the mind must be brought into the education system. Every human being must learn this subject. Imagine this. What if everyone in the world talked only about the mind, talked only about how light, how free, how peaceful it feels? What if people shared only the wonder they experienced upon awakening to the mind? How the false belief in being human shattered completely, dissolving into all things. Everyone would talk about ease, lightness, and freedom from suffering. No one would gossip or slander one another. No one would hate or hold grudges, because everyone would be awake within. No one would cling to the voice or to mental images or to emotion, or even to the act of knowing. They would live in the world, but not cling to it. They would no longer hate, because they would realize, what is there to hate when there is no self? Everyone would begin to understand that there is nothing that belongs to me. And when this is seen, people would begin to share, to support one another. There would be mindfulness, concentration, wisdom. No one would go out at night to escape their stress. The reason people go out at night is because of stress. But now, stress would vanish. Bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, stomach ulcers, acid reflux, insomnia, cancer, these are all illnesses that arise from overthinking, from being entangled in thoughts, from being swept away in mental patterns until the body breaks down. But when we awaken to the mind truly and deeply, when we listen to my teachings often, these mental illnesses will vanish completely. What remains is lightness, clarity, joy. Learning will improve, mindfulness will strengthen, concentration will become steady, everything will flourish. This means we will live with ease. A new era will begin, one of creativity, cooperation, and harmony. No one will exploit or compete with others because they'll see. What is there to compete for when there is no me to protect? We will live simply, humbly, supporting one another. 1 meal a day would be enough. The rest we share. Everyone will contribute. No one will drown in sorrow anymore. When no one is stressed, no one is suffering. There will be no nightclubs, no drug abuse, no gambling, no violence, no separation or division of people, lands, or nations. There will be no dividing of anything. All will live together in peace. The earth belongs to this planet. It doesn't divide itself. But nowadays, people fight over land, over air, over fire, over food, over trees, fighting over everything simply because they believe in me and mine. I'm here to point you back toward the mind, toward knowing the truth, by simply turning inward. Just awaken within and see clearly. All external things are not us. Like when we return to the seed and see, we are the seed. We are inside the seed and we look outward. We are the mango seed, and when we look outward, we see the mango flesh surrounding us. Beyond that, we see the mango skin. None of it is us. The flesh and the skin are all external. We are inside. We are the seed, the life element, the living origin. We, the seed, produce the flesh to wrap around us. We produce the skin to protect us, so that we could accumulate understanding until it is complete. And when wisdom is complete, the skin is no longer useful to us. The flesh is no longer useful, because we now have the full knowledge of how to become the next tree. And we are ready to let everything go. We are ready to grow into a new tree. This is the life element. This is how the life element sees. But for the mind, it doesn't work this way. Don't think that the mind is going to be reborn. Number. When we awaken within, truly awaken inwardly, and begin to observe, we'll see the inner voice speaking constantly. Once we are awake inside, we learn to look from within outward. The nature of most beings is to look from the outside in, and that's why it's so hard to understand the mind. First, we must know we are inside. From that place, we look outward. Then we will understand everything. Beings look at the world from the surface. They see everything in a horizontal direction, standing, looking around, even using telescopes. But no matter how they search, they cannot see the whole picture. Their view is blocked. But if we look from above, from the sky looking down, we can see everything at once. We understand everything immediately. We see humans like termites, constantly searching for something, from morning until night. There is no difference from termites. But if we stay on the ground, looking around from the surface, we won't see this full picture. We won't understand. We'll think we are important. We'll think we are rich. We'll think we are this or that, living in a big house, going here and there, striving for this and that. We become lost in this flat, horizontal plane. But if we look down from the sky to the ground, we'll see the truth. Everywhere we look, there are people, and they're all the same. There's no difference between good and bad, rich and poor, noble and ordinary, blessed or disadvantaged, strong or disabled. With one glance, it's all the same. We see people like termites. No more separation, no more identity. All it knows is, where are all these people going? What are they all searching for? It becomes deeply pitiful. But when we begin to observe by awakening within and then look outward, we will see the voice speaking in the mind constantly, and we will realize it is not us. It is something outside, something that ripples and thinks on its own. We will see images forming on their own, dissolving on their own. If we look from within, awake and aware, we will observe emotions arise, joy appearing by itself, then sorrow follows on its own, then neutrality, contentment, dissatisfaction, anger, hatred, resentment. Then we see joy, delight, bliss, all by their own nature, and they dissolve on their own. We continue to observe all of this from within. We come to see clearly that the act of knowing also happens by itself. The more we stay awakened inwardly, the more obvious it becomes. Without needing to force or intend anything, it is already happening. It is already thinking. Don't try to want to see thought. It is always thinking. Many people try too hard, trying to see thought. But it's always happening. I'm speaking right now, see? It can be seen all the time. Every time a voice speaks inside your mind, you can see it. Train yourself to see it clearly. Whether the voice speaks aloud or silently within, observe it. Let this seeing happen continuously. You don't have to force it. Just listen to my recordings often. Over time, it will begin to happen naturally. Awakening will arise on its own. Understanding will grow. The more deeply you understand, the more awake the mind becomes. And eventually, you will see everything. Just by listening and staying inwardly aware, you will see the voice speaking inside constantly. The mental images, the emotions, the act of knowing, the memories, they are all working automatically. Then when you look outward again, you'll see that the body is experiencing its own sensations. It is moving on its own. Everything becomes clear. It's all external. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is me or mine. This kind of insight arises when you look from the inside out. It is called awakening within. Whoever comes to this inward awakening will realize the mind in a short time. Just listen to my teachings. Set your intention firmly, and you will realize the mind very quickly. Then suffering will no longer bind you. You will never again mistake anything as me. We are mind. We are the life element that has no form, utterly clear and pure. Within this pure, transparent essence, there is no movement, no coming or going. It has never been born, and it never decays. This means we have never truly been born as humans. In this pure element, we are the zero element, free of time, free of space, free of shape or form. It is transparent. It merges with everything. There is no good or evil, no merit or sin, no right or wrong, no real or false. None of it exists. No fabrication arises there. We come to inhabit a vessel only because we wish to learn about ourselves. We use sound as a tool to communicate and to explore what we are. We borrow mental images for communication. We borrow emotions for communication. We borrow perception for communication. We use these tools only because we do not possess them by nature. We are a formless essence, so we need a body as a vessel. We have no voice, so we borrow sound. We have no imagery, so we borrow images. We have no emotion, so we borrow emotion. We have no sense perception, so we borrow that too. All of these are tools created by the mind for temporary use. It's like catching fish. We build a net to catch them. Once we have caught the fish, we no longer need the net. We use the body, the voice, the thoughts, the emotions, the perceptions, just so we can discover who we are. And once we know, everything ends. We never truly needed these things. Do you see? That's it. That's all. So don't suffer over anything, because no one owns suffering. It's just a function playing itself out. Do not be swept away by the voice in your mind, that constant stream of thoughts. Observe carefully. There is always a voice speaking inside. Can you see it? It talks by itself. It thinks about something, and then an emotion arises. Can you see this? When you recognize, so that's how it thinks. That voice creates everything. Then ask, why do we rely on it? Why do we cling to it? Because we rely on it, we get caught in the emotion it stirs up. But when we see the voice, see the thoughts it forms in the mind, and recognize that it is something external, a natural phenomenon functioning on its own, not us, not ours, then emotion can no longer arise. Even if it arises, it's just another natural occurrence, coming and going on its own. Let's say this clearly. Don't worry about whether you are mindful or not. If it thinks, just know it thinks. Let it be. It's doing what it does. It is not you. It is not yours. See clearly that it thinks by itself. See clearly that it imagines on its own. See clearly that it feels emotions on its own. See clearly that it knows on its own. Whether we are mindful of it or not is not the point. The point is this: there is no self within any of these tools, within any of these mental activities, because we are the mind itself. We are the life element, pure, clear, and formless. So come to realize your own mind. Do not cling to the mind's activities. Do not attach to anything. Let all conditions, whether it's this voice, speak on its own. Let mental images think what they think. Let the natural states of emotion, pleasure, pain, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, indifference, fulfill their roles. Let the knowing faculty carry out its own function of perceiving. We are only the one who sees all of this, seeing that they exist as they are, by themselves. They are not us. They are not ours. We have no involvement with them at all. When the mind sees this, it becomes light, open. Then Buddhahood arises, the awakened state. A sense of detachment unfolds. The idea of me dissolves. Suddenly it breaks free, and all things collapse from the mind. What remains is only lightness, openness, awakened knowing. There is wisdom. There is no more clinging. There is no more suffering. And that is the end. You may return home now. This very mind is our true home. I will leave it here for today. May all of you who have listened with a sincere heart, seeking to awaken to truth, come to know the mind clearly. May you realize that you are this clear and pure element, swiftly and fully. May it be so for each and every one of you. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening mind observation and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.